Happy 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys had a safe, happy, fun 4th of July. But we got another video for you today. Stick with us here on ELC Online. It's time for a few announcements. Today's giving emphasis is Mission Sunday, so we have several different things we give to. First of all, there's Ernie and Jeanette in the Philippines. What an awesome ministry they have. If you haven't seen the video that Jeanette put up, go and take a look at it. It's awesome stuff. It's an awesome testimony. Then we have On the Wings of Eagles, helping Jewish people get back to Israel. Then we have Pastor's grandson, Noah, who's working over in Hungary to do lots of different things over there. If you want more information on that, get with Pastor. He can let you know exactly what Noah's doing over there. Then, Candace and I have our missions that we do. We thank you so much for what you have given us and what you support us with. You're an awesome people. So there are several different ways to give. You can give by sending to Teresa Gerard, P.O. Box 913, Sinet, Texas 79083. Or there's a link in the description. You can go online and give towards the church. Also, we're still having services, so you can show up to church and just put your money in the offering bucket. As you know, we have lots of online content going on right now. First of all, Pastor is doing a Wednesday night teachings at 7 o'clock on the book of Philippians. Join him and let him know you're there by saying something during the live video. Also, Friday nights, we try to get out a video for the youth group for Adamant. So be watchful for that. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's pre-recorded. Just go there and watch it. And then every other Saturday, Virginia Chamberlain is doing Seasoned with Grace. If you want to be a part of that, this is for women only. If you want to be a part of that, let Virginia know and she can let you in on that. Okay, let's get into some worship. I hope you guys have been enjoying the new worship videos. We've been trying to record them live so that we can put them on here the next week. But enjoy it and allow God's presence just to surround you. Here we go.
tender whisper of love in the dead of night, and tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're a good, good father. To you I'm, to you I'm, to you I'm. soy, como soy, como soy. Eres bueno en paz, así eres tú, eres tú, eres tú, y soy amado por ti. Como soy, como soy, como soy.
Thank you, John, and members of our praise team, and Jimmy Tucker, and everyone else who had a hand to helping us see that this presentation is made possible today. Thank you for being with us today, 4th of July weekend. And I pray that what I share with you today will minister to you. And so stay with me for the next probably 20, maybe 25 minutes as I share with you what's on my heart today. On October the 14th, 1939, I was born into this world. I don't remember much about that. I was kind of small, you know. From history, I do know that life was pretty simple. As I remember growing up, if you had food, a place to live, and clothes on your back, you were blessed. We didn't have a TV, we didn't have a home phone, much less a cell phone, nor computers, nor computer games, no automatic washing machines or clothes dryers, no automatic dishwashers, no running water, no central heating and air, no refrigerated air conditioning, no cars with automatic transmission, nor equipped with air conditioning, cruise control, power seats, and door locks or remote start. The nearest thing to a refrigerator was an ice box that you put blocks of ice in to keep things cool, or a freshwater spring where you could set things to keep them cool. I remember my mom cooking on a wood-burning stove, and also when my dad added a propane burner that slid into the place where you would put wood. Our heat was an open fireplace where we either burned wood or coal. My two earliest memories of experiencing anything to do with doctors were not good. First, it was when a dentist pulled an abscessed tooth without deadening it. Secondly, when I had my foot sewed up after stepping on a broken bottle. 4 people held me down, one on each corner, one at each arm, and one at each leg, while the doctor sewed it up, without any pain medication nor anesthesia. Families who could afford a car didn't have several parked in their driveway. My first memory of any kind of a motorized vehicle for transportation that my family had was a motorcycle that my dad rode to work. Most people in town, either walked where they needed to go, hitchhiked, or rode the city bus. In the early teen and high school years, my first job paid me 25 cents an hour, and I was glad to get it. I was never the most popular at school. I was not voted the most likely to succeed, was never voted the most likely anything. Didn't make the athletic teams, wasn't good enough. Barely made it through high school graduation and was glad to receive my diploma. My parents never had a lot, but they worked for what they had. This was not in some far off, dark corner in Africa. My starting place was a little place called Marion, Mississippi, just outside Meridian. It is about 875 miles southeast of here. The map on my smartphone tells me you can drive from here to there in about 13 hours. If you go to Dallas, pick up I-20 East and go east on that interstate, about 90 miles east of Jackson, Mississippi, you will come to Meridian. As you pass through on the east side of town, Marion will be just to the north of the interstate. On the right side of the interstate, you will pass a Walmart store that sits pretty close to the last place where I lived in Mississippi. And when they were building that highway, that interstate, I would go up to the massive roadbed and dig into the mounds of dirt and find fool's gold. A McDonald's now sits pretty close to where the house I once lived in stood. I feel very blessed to have been born in the Deep South. I also feel very blessed to have been born in this great nation. I have to say to you, I am proud to be an American. I'm not proud of where our country is right now. It is not the same country I was born in, nor is it the same country I was raised in, nor the same country where Pauline and I raised our children. But I still love this country. Many people have died on the battlefields of other countries to keep war from once again ravaging this nation. A Jewish immigrant by the name of Irving Berlin, who had come to the United States from Russia with his parents when he was 5 years old, grew up, became a citizen of this country. In 1918, as a young man serving in the U.S. Army, he wrote a song that kind of laid dormant for, let's say, 20 years. At the rise of Adolf Hitler in 1938, he decided to revive the song as a peace song. It was introduced on Armistice Day, 1938, on a radio broadcast by Kate Smith. He added an introductory line that few people have heard, and Kate Smith used it in her introduction to the song, and it went like this: "While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in solemn prayer." So again, what a lot of people don't know is that Irving Berlin did not keep the royalties to this song for himself. He gave them to the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America. Since 1938, this song has been sung in a lot of different venues and by a number of different people. It's one of my favorite. And if you could read the lyrics, you would pay close attention. If you read them and pay close attention, then you would see that it is actually a prayer in the form of a song. It goes like this: God bless America. It is a prayer, not the words that a preacher said concerning America a number of years ago. But this song says in the form of a prayer, God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. On April the 19th, 1775, the 13 original colonies of this country entered into a war with Great Britain that lasted for 8 years, 4 months, and 15 days. On July the 4th, 1776, these colonies officially declared their independence from Great Britain by forming and signing what is known as the Declaration of Independence. The men who signed this document literally pledged their lives and their fortunes, and many of them lost their fortunes and some their lives as a result of signing this Declaration of Independence. And so since that day, we celebrate the 4th of July in commemoration of that freedom gain. The 13 colonies lost 6,800 in battle and some 17,000 through diseases. In April 1861, another war began. It was a war between the states, the North and the South. It lasted for 4 years, ending on April the 9th, 1865, when General Robert E. Lee surrendered his Confederate forces. The war left behind it some 750,000 casualties and a country that was divided by hatred and mistrust. And now we find ourselves in an internal turmoil. It's not the South against the North or vice versa. It is not a united country fighting against forces in another country to keep them from invading the shores of the land that we live. It runs the land that we live and love so very much. It runs much deeper than that. It is a cultural war, a political war, a deeply spiritual war that is ripping us apart. Several years ago, it was said, we will fundamentally transform America. The process of chipping away at its foundation began, and we are now in the bulldozer stage. One of the biggest, most effective tools of any engagement in warfare is divide and conquer. It's been effective for centuries past and is being used today with great success. In Matthew 12:25, Jesus taught a principle concerning Satan's strategy. He said this, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. At times, it might seem that Satan's kingdom is full of confusion and division. In reality, it has a great cohesiveness because everything in his kingdom is working toward one goal: destroy every life possible, and in the process take as many souls to hell as it can, and along the way destroying everything that validates God and sets up everything that deifies man. In Matthew 12:29, Jesus taught us a power strategy. He said, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house. When a strong man is guarding his house against invasion, it is very hard and near impossible to break in and steal his goods. So how do you get past the strong man? You bind him. In binding him, you essentially restrain his strength, and you make it impossible for him to use his strength against you. Let me say a couple of things as I move along here. God is greater than any force of darkness. Christ in you is greater than the enemy that is without. Through the processes of the judicial system, God has been removed from the classroom. He's been removed from the judicial system. Secular humanism has taken his place. Marriage has been redefined. Sexuality has been redefined. And what was once right is now wrong. And what was once wrong is now right and encouraged. Through Christ that lives on the inside, the believer is stronger than the devil. But when that is bound, the power that is there is restrained, and we become vulnerable. In many ways, the church of Jesus Christ has been told to sit down and shut up. Be seen but not heard. Keep it to yourself. In the last Wednesday night's lesson I did online, the main emphasis of that lesson was stand fast. And if you will look that up, the Greek term for that is be stationary. Persevere. Be stationary and persevere. Stand fast. And time will not permit me to share the scriptures that I used last Wednesday night. But nonetheless, the Apostle Paul emphasizes that over and over again. Stand fast, be stationary, and persevere. The title of my message today is United We Stand. The other part of that is divided we fall. The forces that be are determined to divide this country, whatever it costs. As a Christian, do not allow the enemy without to bind the Christ working inside of you. You and I control who or what has access to our inner man. You control who or what enters your life. For this great nation that I love, it will either be united we stand, or divided we fall. And the focal point of that unity is Christ. There are so many things that need to be said on this celebration of the birth of this nation. How so many people died in battles to preserve our freedom. How they died in vain. That we have come to this point in history where we will be destroyed from within. I pray that is not the case. I pray that does not happen. I'm reminded of two portions of Scripture that I think are fitting here as I finish this presentation today. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 12. O Lord, revive your work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. Then Ezra chapter 9, verse 7 and 8 says this. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this time. For our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the land, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil and confusion of face, as it is this day. I'm going to read verse 8, that is verse 7. Listen to what verse 8 says. And now, for a space, grace has been shown from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. That's my message to you today. United we stand. And again, the focal point is Christ. We must unite around the Lord Jesus Christ. He is the answer. I want to pray with you today. I pray that you have had a great 4th of July weekend. It is Friday afternoon as I am recording this. It is a hot day, but it is a beautiful day. In preparation for the 4th of July tomorrow. I know that many people will be celebrating in a lot of different ways. I challenge you, if you can, to take a few moments and reflect. Why do we have this special day in this country? Why do we celebrate the 4th of July? Reflect on some of the things that I have shared with you about the 13 original colonies and that wonderful document, the Declaration of Independence. Remember that was established so that we could have freedom to serve and worship the Lord. That's why people came to this country, and to be free from a domineering, tyrannical government. And so those men, honorable men, signed that wonderful document, the Declaration of Independence. If you ever get an opportunity, I challenge you to read that. Maybe you have. I challenge you to do that. But take a few moments today and reflect why we have this great day of celebration. Also remember the many lives. Think about this. The many lives, as I mentioned a moment ago, who died on foreign fields to keep enemies from other nations coming and shedding blood on our streets. Think about those who paid the ultimate price that you can have the freedom to celebrate this day as we do today, or did yesterday. We live in a great country. Once again, I want to say to you, I am proud to be an American. God bless the USA. Thank you for being with us today. God bless. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you. The Lord be gracious unto you. Lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. God bless you and your family. Thank you for being with us today. Goodbye.
Thank you, Pastor, for an awesome word. I hope you guys really enjoyed being ministered to, and I pray that God is really speaking into your spirit. Now, thank you for watching this video. We are glad you got to join us again. We thank you for supporting the church during this time. Don't forget to share this video on your Facebook. Also, go to YouTube, subscribe to the church's channel, and let everybody know what's going on. We thank you and we love you. God bless.